Hello everybody, Ghostblade 1062 here with another rolling stock review. Today we will be looking at two Walthers ready to run Pullman-Standard Plan 4140 10-6 sleepers from Canadian National that I have had in my collection for a while now. I have accidentally obtained two of the same road number for these cars. And now, let's move on to the unboxing. Alright, taking a look at the box itself, on the front left hand side here we have the Walthers logo with the ready to run logo along the bottom center to right. We also have a clear plastic front window giving us our first look at the car itself. The top, bottom, and left sides don't have any real extra information other than the left side having contact the Walthers website and address. On the back, we have a little bit of information about Walthers standards. And then on the right side of the box, we do have some information. We have the Walthers Ready to Run logo across the top here. And here we see it is a Pullman-Standard Plan 4140 10-6 sleeper from Canadian National. It is product ID 932-6857, and here we have the product barcode. We also have our age restriction and a recommendation for a 24-inch minimum radius for curves. And now, opening up the box, we have the car sitting in this two-piece shell. Which just pops open like this. Giving us access to the car itself. And in the back here, we also have this plastic baggie that includes separately fitted metal hand grab irons that can be attached, as well as a set of knuckle couplers. And here we have the car. So next, we can move on to the detail overview section of the video. Time to take a closer look at this sleeper car. Starting at the end here, we have our plastic connection here, which would connect to passenger cars. And in behind that, we actually have a little entrance area before you reach the main door going into the car. We also have a little bit of riveting detail here along the body. Moving on to the side here, we have our molded in door with see-through windows, which also affects the walkway area. We do also have our windows along the side of the body. We have our ribbed stainless steel side paneling going the full length of the car as well, with the CN reporting marks at the far end. as well as along the roof we have several vents. Looking at the trucks, we have some decent detailing for the brakes as well as the brake system and the suspension. We also have our airflow system in vents here underneath, as well as some storage compartments. We also have our reservoir tanks visible here. And now looking at the far side of the car, we don't have this same entrance area, but we do have our door with a clear plastic window. And we have the same riveting detail on the body here. And again, much of the same detailing, except we don't have the air intakes along the bottom here. And now, looking at the roof, we just have our paneled roof, which is fairly basic. And now, looking at the underside, we do have some detailing here. We have our air reservoir, we have compressor detailing, we have our storage units, but all in all, the detailing is still fairly basic on the underside. And next, we can move on to the rip track segment of the video. Alright, time for the rip track segment of the video. Now normally, part of this section of the video would be me changing out the couplers, but because I have two of these cars I already tested, and I found that KD158s that I normally use aren't long enough to operate on these cars. Therefore, I will be leaving the factory couplers on the car. But starting on the wheel gauge, axle number 1 is good, as is axle number 2. Now onto the second truck. Axle 1 is good, and so is axle 2. Alright, so our wheels are all engaged. Now to verify the height of the factory couplers, and these are plastic knuckle couplers. And one of these two cars does have a broken one as well. Alright, the coupler height is good, but the trip pin on this end is sitting too low and is catching on the height gauge. Now for the other end, the coupler is sitting a little bit low, and the trip pin is also catching on this end, which is something I can fix fairly easily. There we go. That's the trip pins fixed up to not be catching. There we go. And now for the other end. Alright. And now, let's take the two cars over to the track for a test run. Alright everybody, this concludes my review of the Walthers Ready to Run Pullman-Standard 4140 10-6 sleepers from CN. All in all, they are very smooth runners, though I did have some issues with getting them to couple together. By ways of detailing, they were fairly basic. However, these are also older models that have been in my collection for about a decade now. That being said, they are running to expectation, even if I was not able to swap the couplers to metal knuckle couplers at this time. That being said, if you enjoyed the video, leave a like and a comment, and subscribe for more model railroad content. Have a great day, everybody!